I can determine the lowest common denominator of two fractions. Jacqueline bought 3/4 pounds of apples at the farmer's market, and Abby bought 1/6 pounds of apples. How many pounds of apples did Jacqueline and Abby buy in total? To solve this problem, we would add 3/4 plus 1/6. 3/4 is more than half. And here's 1/6. Does it make sense that if we would add them together, it would equal up to 4/10, which is less than half? Could our answer be getting smaller? How do you add two fractions that have a different denominator or different sized pieces? We need to find a common denominator. A common denominator of two fractions is just a common multiple of their denominators. What's a multiple? In our problem, we had the fractions 3/4 and 1/6. If we wanted to find the multiples of our denominators of 4 and 6, we would just need to skip count. Count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and count by 6s. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Do you see a multiple that they have in common? Circle the common multiple. What is the lowest common multiple? There's only one number in common here. That's our 12. That's our common multiple, and that number we could then use to become our common denominator. If I take my fraction 3/4 and I put my 12, my common multiple, as my denominator, how can I create an equivalent fraction to 3/4 with the denominator of 12? Okay, well 4 times 3 equals 12. And I need to multiply my numerator and denominator by the same number to find an equivalent fraction. So my new fraction would be 9/12. 1/6, again, I want to have a denominator of 12 so that I can have a common denominator. 6 times what equals 12? If you were thinking 2, you're correct. So we want to multiply both our numerator and denominator by 2 so that we can find an equivalent fraction. 1/6 is equal to 2/12. We can now add our two fractions, 9/12 plus 2/12, and say that we have a total of 11/12. 3/4 plus 1/6 is the same thing as 9/12 plus 2/12 because those are just equivalent fractions. Let's review. When we want to find common denominators, number 1, we want to list the first 5 multiples of our denominators. Step 2, we want to find the lowest common multiple. And step 3, we're going to create new fractions using the lowest common multiple as our denominator in our equivalent fractions. Here are some examples for you to try. We will be using these examples together in class. Looking forward to seeing you in Zoom. Bye.